Sweetheart on radio. Sweetheart.
It's podcast o'clock. Hello, how are you? What's up? How you doing? Glad to have you join me here on this podcast. It is my diary where I chronicle my journey as a journalist, a multimedia and broadcast journalist, and a development journalist as well. So once again, welcome to my podcast. Alma Sweetheart on radio, TV, social media, everywhere. Okay, so yeah, I had this interview with a Voko, Rachael Voko, right? She's a Zimbabwean poet, and she's been doing a lot in the space. You know, most of our programs align with sustainable development goals. She works on digital security, she works on climate change, and she has a digital heaven skill, a community where she has a group of young ladies, young women that she trains. She's empowering them with skills in order to navigate their lives in the digital ecosystem, and she's been doing tremendously amazing. You know, I never really knew that. I mean, as a Nigerian, I never really knew or thought that people can actually make a lot of money. Please excuse me, like, allow me to express this. I never knew that just by being a poet, by being an artist, by using spoken words, that people can actually make a lot of money. I never really knew that just by being an artist, poet, you know, using spoken words to change the narrative, that people can actually be that influential, until I met a Voko Rachael. Because it has always been about maybe you want to become an artist, people will always look down on you and tell you you're just going to be an artist. What do artists do? But seeing Rachael and all she's accomplishing, and she will still accomplish in the future, really changed that. Really, I never really knew until I met Rachael, and she's been doing so much. Thinking about it, that she's changing the world with poetry. So she's actually an expression. Like, you look at her and you know that you can change the world with art. As an artist, you can change the world. As a poet, you can change the world. You can do so much. You can change the world. So I had this amazing conversation with her. I was tremendously inspired, and I believe you will receive a lot of inspiration after listening to her on this beautiful, amazing podcast. Do want to listen to this podcast to the end of it, and I will see you at the other side. Please stay.
My name is Rachael Voko, a multi-award-winning Zimbabwean artist, and I use mostly spoken word as a tool to address inequalities, to demand a fair and, of course, a just world. As an artist, what I do almost every time is activism. That's a combination of art and activism, and also I serve jointly. When I say serve, because poetry to me is it means serving, so I serve jointly or collectively with other leaders, the comrades and friends, to advance gender equality and other SDGs. So I know that sometimes people look at poets and say, oh, they are just wasting their time. And maybe in Nigeria, it's also there. It's there in Zimbabwe, it's there in Nigeria, it's there in Africa, it's there globally. But what I can say is that in Zimbabwe, people are slowly accepting poets, and they are recognizing poetry as a form of art, and it really takes firmness and solidarity within Zimbabwean poets to ensure poetry visibility, recognition, and rewards, and of course acceptance. So what I can say is that there are so many opportunities out there. It's just that we just have to look outside the box and be creative as possible and as best as we can. And also collaborating with other people out there. I can be a poet. I can collaborate with media personnel. I can collaborate with fashion models. I can collaborate with designers. I can collaborate with any person from any field that can think of. Through collaborations, the message can be brought out, the message can be communicated, and the cause advanced. So also people can make a living really using spoken word, using poetry. As I say, is that one can just think maybe outside the box to see what possible ways are there. Can they combine art with design? Can they combine art with music, with commerce? Can they combine art with politics? Can they combine art with climate change? For crying out loud, because climate change is one of maybe the alarming issues globally. Yeah. So I am changing the world and the immediate environment with my powerful poems. Yeah, of course. So what inspires me mostly is I mentioned earlier that to me spoken word is a tool that I use to speak to inequalities, or I can say that maybe to advance gender equality. So for every unfairness, injustice, or any inequality fundamentally calls for me, or it calls for my craft, so that I can act to speak. By the way, as poets, we recite and the audience gets to snap. Yeah. And we stop at nothing really, because we want the message to reach to the policymakers, to the influencers, and the implementers. How a young person can then start a career as a poet and excel in the context of Africa. I believe that everyone has a poem within. That's to begin. And what you feel inside you is actually poetry. And how you are bending, how you are zealous, and how you are eager to speak or say certain things is actually poetry. So the moment you toughen up to write or to recite, it then becomes poetry. And maybe to add a little sauce, spice, whatever you like between the sauce and the spice there. One has to look for a couple of poets around the globe, or from the community, to begin to seek guidance, mentorship, ask for resources. Can be online resources, it can be offline resources, hard copies, to enrich maybe diction, style, confidence, etc. So my journey, I have faced a lot of challenges, and I'm still facing a lot of challenges, because the reason why I'm on radio today is because I believe that being on radio will expand my network, will help me tap into some networks and empower like souls in Nigeria, poets in Nigeria, whether seasoned or upcoming. And the other challenge is the finances, really. Like, there are so many things that I want to do. For instance, I would love maybe to record 20 poems in a year, but then me going to the studio to record, me getting a video or photographer to capture my beautiful poetic style, etc., it all requires funding. And if you don't have funds, like I don't have funds, sometimes I do get, sometimes I don't get the funds, yeah. But then everything needs money, everything needs resources, be it financial or non-financial resources, to scale up whatever project that you have, or to scale up whatever idea, to scale up your passion, your craft, or whatever. So at the end of the day, I then came up with a statement that was defensive. It was really defensive, yeah. And I say that if you don't understand my piece of poetry, it clearly means that the message is not meant for you, or you are not meant for the message. You see. So currently, I mentioned the issue of funding. So currently, I am doing a digital haven project, which is under my initiative called Skill a Community. So under the project, creatives and young people are capacitated with different safety and security tools, and of course knowledge, in order for them to navigate the digital world and be able to market, to sell, and of course to network. Yeah, so for one to be able to network, to sell online without any fear of threats such as maybe cyberbullying, which is one of the biggest, also hacking, phishing, and many other threats. So currently I got support from a Culture Fund and the European Union to advance this project with 60 young women in Zimbabwe. And to date, I can say that the project has impacted over 700 people in Zimbabwe. So you see that I am really trying, yeah. So my final words to the listener, to an upcoming poet, to a seasoned poet, all I can say is that it is really an honor to connect with you through this platform. That's number one. And secondly, I want to say that let the fire within you guide you as you pursue your passion, grow daily, and be grateful daily. Thank you so much.
I am calling you on my, make you talk my pen away.
Rachael Voko from Zimbabwe, changing the world one step at a time. You can as well change the world one step at a time. There is a talent inside you. There's something within you that God has given you. And definitely, you can do great things from wherever it is you are. So, what more? Think of what you can do to positively impact the lives of people around you. And in that same way, we'll all make the world a better place to live in. I am Oma, your very sweetheart on radio, TV, social media, sweetheart everywhere. I'm signing out. See you in another podcast. I love you. Mwah. Bye.